Hello everyone, it's Nikki Batgirl D'Angelo here with another Come Fly With Me, and today I'm going to be taking a look at Airfoil Labs Cessna 172, which is a study level aircraft. What that means is that not only does this plane look great, but it's going to be as close to flying the real thing as you can have in the game at this point. So I'm going to pick one of my Cessnas right over here. And I am going to start a new flight over at ISP, and we're going to take it for a couple of touch and goes, maybe do some pattern work, and then just fly out over Long Island and then do a turnaround to the aircraft and do a full stop. I know, that's a lot. Alright, I did not get this taken care of yet. So when you say study level aircraft, what it's going to be is it's going to be something that you have to treat like a real life aircraft. So let me show you over here. We have checklists. We have maintenance. You'll notice I've been doing well to keep this aircraft in well maintained order. So you have all these things that you have to worry about that can go, plus you have all these failures that could happen over here. Okay. Weight and fuel for today, I'm just going to be flying myself. And I'm going to be looking at a couple of other things. Camera-wise, I can choose to go on the outside if I want to. But that's something I'm not going to do just yet. You can do a whole pre-flight here. So you start the pre-flight. Show you that. There's a pre-flight. So you would go through the pre-flight and walk around the whole aircraft and be able to see each thing happening as you do it. It's actually pretty cool. Exterior, you can look at it. Over here you have, oh look, I opened my window, opened the door. You could open this over here. Wait, where is it? It is over there somewhere, isn't it? I thought it was over here. But there is baggage you could see. You can go to the empennage, you could take off and put on tie downs when you do walk around. So it is something that is quite fun. It's also something that is quite necessary if you're trying to use this as a real life sim, which is something that I will be doing in the future. But for today, I just want to get a handle on the flight model. And I want to get a handle on how well Airfoil Labs has modeled the Cessna. And in the beginning, when I first saw it come out, I was kind of excited because I was going to go back to Flight Sim and start flying A-to-A aircraft, which are just amazing. But I really like the aerodynamics, the physics inside of X-Plane better. And I kind of fell away from doing it because some of the aircraft I was flying back then just felt a little too much like you were flying on rails inside of X-Plane. So now that I'm coming back, this aircraft is giving me new hope that I could find aircraft that are going to be better modeled. Alright, so let's take a look at some things. We've done the pre-flight. Yes, I understand the message system. Alright, so let's say we do that. Before starting, we did pre-flight inspection complete, cell phones off, passenger briefing, well, that's just me, seatbelts adjusted and locked, check, brake test and set. Brakes test and set, check. Circuit breakers, check in. Now I'm just going to run my finger across all of them. Because they are in, if you actually click on them, they come out, then you're going to put them back in. Alright, electrical equipment off, that's check. That's working. That's working, so let's do mixture full lean. Alright, avionics master switch off. Fuel selector valve to both. Fuel selector valve is set to both. Fuel shutoff valve is on. It's on. Avionics circuit breakers check in. We did that twice now. That's good. Done. Throttle open a 1/4 inch. Let's see. Throttle open a 1/4 inch. Okay. Mixture idle cutoff. Check. Prop area clear. Clear. Alright, looks like it's clear. Master switch on. Master switch on. Flash and beacon on. Fuel pump switch on. This is where we prime it. We're going to look at our fuel flow. We're going to give it full.
The engine
and that's it. Alright, yes, I did not expect that, but we have it primed. And mixture idle cutoff, auxiliary pump switch off, and then we're going to go and we're going to start it up. Just going to yell clear again. And then we're going to put in our mixture, and we're going to bring it up to 1,000 RPM. We got that perfect. Okay, good. And we are going to look at our oil pressure check. Oil pressure is check. Lean for taxi. Lean for taxi, and the way that we do this is make sure that we're at 1,000. It's hard to set it with this Thrustmaster throttle. It does not slide very well. And we're just going to bring it back. Up there's the drop off, and push it right forward. There we go. We're lean for taxi. Let's go to the next. Flaps are retracted. Yes, they are. Flaps are up. Flaps are up. Avionics master switch is on. Let's get our avionics on. Radios are on. Get our ATIS. Do I need our ATIS today? My guess would be I'm going to need my ATIS. So let's just go into Islip McArthur. I know that some of the things aren't exactly what they are in real life, so let's see what their ATIS is. 128.45. That does sound like real life to me. And this doesn't have scroll wheel support that I know. Nope, it does not. Alright, let's switch it over. 128.45, 128.45. I am seeing this correctly, right? 128.45. Oh, that's COM 2. That's not COM 1. Okay. We had to wait for this to come up. Alright.
Long Island MacArthur.
There we go.
Sierra. 1000 Zulu weather. Wind calm. Visibility 10. Sky conditions 25,000 broken.
Alright, everything seems to be alright.
2.13.
We're going to go to runway 33 right. So we got ATIS. Altimeter set. Let's make sure altimeter is set. Oh, it's actually at pattern. Not pattern. It's actually at airport elevation right now. So we have to take it off like right there. Okay. Alright, so altimeter is set. Heading indicator set. North, north. I would set for magnetic deviation at this point, right? Heading indicator, transponder to standby. Transponder 1200. And make sure it's on standby. It's on standby. And navigation lights on as required. We're just going to put our nav lights on. We're going to be taxiing, landing lights on for now. Don't need our strobe light on just yet. Alright, that's good. Taxi. We're ready to taxi. Let's take off the brakes and do our brake test. Yep, it works. Turn coordinator is working. And I have my 12.5-year-old CH Pro pedals. There's one thing I've found about doing just a couple of small flights in this aircraft is that it does like to taxi really fast. And if you pull back on the throttle too much, you actually start to lose voltage, which is not good. You also can foul the plugs. It's not something you want to do, especially since now I'm paying for maintenance. Virtually. With my heart and soul. But I don't like the way that the pedals are set up, and I'm going to give you an idea. Let's pause this for a second right here. Let's go into settings. And let's go into joystick. Let's go into pedals. And let's go into control sensitivity. Alright, I'm down at the lowest control sensitivity that I could have. And it's just very squirrely on the ground because they do accurately model P factor. I think that the other thing that's happening is they're not modeling in the game itself any of the friction from the tires, if that makes sense. Because you can't get that perfect... Yeah, I'm just finding it hard to get that perfect. Let's just... Maybe we have to do this to get them... Ah, that sounded better. It looks like I just had to do a little bit of finagling with my actual pedals, but it just still seems like friction is not modeled. So we're going across the two runways. We're going to the south taxiway over at Islip McArthur. And I think I'm going to take off on 33 right, which is a right-hand traffic pattern. 33 left is left-hand traffic. Otherwise you'd be on top of each other, and that would not be good. You can see what I mean. You're supposed to taxi on a slow walk, or a fast walk, I should say, not a run. Right now, we're doing epic people running speeds. And there goes the swirling effect that I get on the ground whenever I try to use my pedals. Nice little run up. I love the sounds in this aircraft. I actually could close my eyes and feel that I'm in a Cessna, which is pretty good. The modeling of this aircraft is perfect. Let's look at the outside. I have two open doors. We're going to have to close those doors. Alright. We just needed a little bit of... we needed a little bit of air here. That's what was going on. Yeah, it is a beautiful aircraft, beautifully modeled. I've taken off some of the detail in the game because there's been some problems with the reflections for now, but I'm sure they'll get that fixed very quickly. Alright, we're going way too fast. Come on, come on. Slow it down there. Alright, and we're going to hold short at the next one. So we're going to hold short at the next one. There's two hold short markers. Alright, here we are. And we're going to hold short right here. Let's look down and let's make sure that we have... Alright. Alright, before takeoff, parking brake set. Let's make sure our two doors are closed. Okay, door one closed. I gotta make this go quicker. I gotta set up my views. I know there's a whole bunch of custom views that you could do in the game. Yeah, that just made it a lot nicer and easier in here. Doors, windows checks, flight controls, free and correct. We gotta go outside since I can't look the way I want to. Flight controls free and correct. We have flight instruments check. Check. Is this set for where I am? Yeah, let me put me a little bit down. Yeah, I want to be there. Alright. Fuel quantity. We don't have a lot, but we're just going to stay in pattern for a little bit. Mixture rich. Mixture is full rich. Fuel selector valve recheck. Fuel selector valve is checked. Throttle up to 1800. At 1800, checking the vacuum. Vacuum is in the green. That's good. Magneto check. Let's check for the drop. We got it. You only have to check one side now. Alright. And everything seems to be okay over here. Throttle going back to idle. We'll go back to whatever the other... Let's just say we're on the tower frequency now. And we're ready to go. Let's go to our takeoff check, which is going to be depart. Instrument check, transponder on. So let's check the transponder to on. There's got to be a way to have this go automatically. Yeah, I don't see that just happening. You see, I'm clicking this. There it is. There we go. We have transponder on, landing light on, strobe light on, and wings 10%. Flaps, I mean. Flaps, and we're going. I'm going to 3-3 right. 3-3 right is going to be right up ahead on our right. Actually, it's going to be on our left. It's going to be right there. You see how it intersects with this longer runway right here, which I think is 10 and 2/8. Alright, we've got it, and we're in the center line, and we're going to get a little bit of a squirrely action because of the wonderful P factor and lack of... Okay, there we go. Whoa. That was not a good takeoff. Not very smooth. Alright, but we are climbing out at 70, maintaining runway heading. Oh, it flies so nice. Oh, it flies so nice. Flaps off. Alright, we're doing well here. Still runway heading. Alright, 500 feet. We're going to make our turn to our crosswind leg. And pattern altitude. And drop the nose. Shock her back to about 2,000. Keep it in the pattern. Alright. Turn on our downwind leg. I'm going to have to... Oh, come on. I don't want to play with trim because this thing doesn't like it. There we go. Losing our altitude there just a little bit. Come on, we got to lose another 80 feet. Okay, we overshot the downwind leg by about 10 degrees. We got to go back. Come on, come on. There we go. 15. Oh, come on. Push down the nose. This is the first time I've been in this aircraft, and it is quite a bit different than flying the stock Cessna. The stock Cessna is definitely the best stock aircraft I've flown in any of these simulators yet. Alright, we're pulling back to 1500. And you could almost do it by... Well, you probably will be able to do it by ear at some point. First notch of flaps, keep that speed up. And I would normally turn right here, coming just about above the magnetic compass. You can see right now Bayport Airdrome. Alright, so we're turning on to our... Oh, come on, keep that speed up. Keep that speed up or we're going to be too high. Keep that nose down. Good job. Nose down. Perfect. Perfect. How are we doing? We seem a little bit slow. Yeah. Okay, keep it coming down. And 2-4. Where's the runway? Runway's right there. Alright, good. Keep it coming down. Keep it coming down. The sounds are wonderful in this. Start turning. We've got the airfield made. This is great. Turning on to final. Keep the speed up. Keep the speed up. Last notch of flaps. Airfield made. Throttle to idle for a second. Drop that altitude. And this plane sounds worse than the landings are. I'll show you that on our second Earth landing. We're going to do one touch and go. Well, two touch and goes, and we're going to go out of the pattern and come in and land on runway 6. Alright, here we go. Alright, so we're going a little bit too slow. But we're flying right down to the runway. We've got a lot of bumpiness, and it is as squirrely as the real aircraft. And we're just going to hold off. And all you want to do is just hold off the aircraft. Just hold it off, and ooh, that was not so bad. It was a little bit of a one-wheel touchdown. We'll look at that in a few minutes. Clean up the aircraft. There's that squirrely behavior that you get on the ground from the... probably from the pro pedals being modeled in the game. Not very nice. Very squirrely. I gotta fix that somehow. I hope somebody out there that watches this can help me. Alright, we want to climb out at VY. So 75. Alright, we're already at our altitude right now. We're going to turn onto our crosswind leg. Crosswind. Come on, 60 degrees. Come on. This plane really does like to jump off the ground and get in the air. I don't ever remember it climbing this fast in real life, though. I'd always be on downwind by the time I got up to altitude. Okay, that was much better interception of not altitude, of our altitude. Much better. Alright, we want to keep that back, so let's shock it back to about 1900. Alright, good. And we're going to turn our downwind leg. And I would be looking all around the cockpit. And I think that's why people that play flight sims today are always using something like Track IR. I know that there's another one that you don't need to wear anything on your head. I wonder how well that works with the game. And there we are on our downwind leg. Maybe I just need to set up custom views. That would be much better. And indiscriminate, you could just make out 3-3. It doesn't have any big runway markings on it. It's just a small runway. That's why I like landing on it. It gives you more of an idea of landing on the runways you find in real life at this in GA. You're not always going to be flying in Class C airspace. You're going to be flying into tiny airports from time to time. I'm going to chalk back to 1500. Let it come back. Let the airspeed come back. There it is. And one notch of flaps. And we're going to turn onto our... it was supposed to be just a little bit more I'm so used to the real life markers in this area. But the airspeed dropped. Come on. Come on, hold that nose down. Pitch down. Alright, so 2-4. Good. Alright, another notch of flaps, and we should be able to make the runway with no problem here. 2-4. Keep that airspeed up. Keep that to 1500. You should be able to hear the difference in the RPM as time goes on. I did a little bit wider pattern, and we'll be able to see those in a little bit. I could show you those on the map after we do this. So we should be close to turning on to final. We are turning on to final. And as we're going on to final, we're going to drop that second notch of flaps. Kick in. Keep the pitch correct. Alright, that's good. And just pull back. Yeah, we might be at 30 degrees of flaps. I probably kicked that second in already. But let's get over to the right a little bit. Perfect. No PAPI lights, no VASI lights, no indicators of any kind. This is all using your eye on this runway. Unlike all the other runways at Islip. This is like the perfect runway to do real life landings on. If you ever get to go into Islip. Alright, so holding off the aircraft. Hold it off. Nope, too high, too high. Hold it off, hold it off, hold it off. Perfect. And clean it up and go. Oh, there it is. There it is. I hate that squirreliness. I never have that in real life. And then we rotate. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do a departure to the south. Okay. Oh, look, a new GeForce driver is available. How wonderful. I wonder if that means a new game came out this week. Oh, it's E3 week, isn't it? So my wonder is, SATEC made such amazing stuff for flight simulation, space simulation, for all of that. What is going to happen now that Logitech owns them? That is something I'm wondering. Now, most of you that watch me on my other channel know that I do play Star Citizen. And in Star Citizen, SATEC was going to be making their particular HOTUS unit. We're not going to stay in that level. We're going to go up to 2500. Well, it's not really that clear out here today, so let's stay at around 2000. And what I'm doing is I'm just turning to the south. For south departure. There we go. And we're high enough above the pattern altitude not to be interfering with any of the other Cessnas up here. And I'm trying to do a expedited, not a fast climb, but getting out of the pattern quickly. Alright. 2,000 feet. Drop the nose. Pull back the throttle. I'm going to keep it there. I don't want to go that fast today. Come on, don't let it go over 2100. Keep that. So the way that we're going to do this is go over the Great South Bay. That's pretty much the outer marker for, or the outer limits for the airspace. We're going to go outside the airspace. And then, in reality, we'd be contacting New York approach to get back in. I said south departure, so I'm going to head south now. Of course, we are interfering with Bayport Airdrome at this point. I would have continued on the 150. This aircraft is really nice. I want you to hear. You hear those? Those sounds are real. Watch. That's what you hear in the real aircraft. Isn't that ridiculously awesome? Alright, so far I love this aircraft. This aircraft is the closest thing to real life flying that I could have right now. Keep that nose down. Don't be trying to climb. Don't be trying to go squirrely on me. Yeah, I don't want to use any of the autopilot for some flight this short. Alright, so Great South Bay is right in front of us. Okay. Islip area. Heckscher Park should be in this area right over here. Okay. Oh, in this area right here, right? Yeah, right over there. That's where we're going to go. Alright, so let's just start coming around. So I don't want to go too far to the east. I don't want to extend this flight too much. Alright. I got to work on my orthophoto technique. I think I have to watch a few more videos on that. I think my tiles come out looking okay, but not perfect. I think there's more to it that I'm missing. So I'm going to have to work on that. I know QPilot's done a couple of amazing videos. Why are we going down so fast? We are trimmed. Alright, so we're going to turn to a heading of west. Well, actually 240, which will be alongside the runway. Which will head us out over the Great South Bay and towards Fire Island. Which is never a bad thing. Made this flight so many times, like I said. I remember flying over, I think it was Robert Moses Beach. We were out over the water, not over the beach itself. The first time my instructor, who was a former U.S. Navy, he was a former U.S. Marine Corps pilot, flew Harriers. And he yells, or doesn't yell, he goes, "I got the aircraft balloon," and a kid had just let go of a balloon. And he takes over the aircraft and perfectly and gracefully, I'm not talking about abrupt maneuvers, I'm talking about maneuvers that you could have played to classical music. Takes that aircraft, rolls it, not aerobatics onto its side, but rolls it, pulls it up into a nose-high attitude, kicks the rudder around, kind of like a hammerhead, but not really. So we weren't breaking any regulations there, but it just felt so cool to be in the aircraft doing that. Dove on the balloon, and I watched the balloon go right side, right by the left side of the aircraft, right by my head. I was like, wow, that was pretty awesome. He goes, "I don't want you doing that, but that's about the most you should ever be able to do in this aircraft. Anything more than that," he goes, "you're breaking the category limits." And I'm like, okay. I don't think I'll be doing that until I have as many hours as you. And he goes, "Yep." But it was really cool that he let me in on that. Alright, so the airport is somewhere in that direction. And we could bring this up over here. And you can see I flew two patterns. One was dead on, the other one was too far out. Alright. Let's keep it on 240 as soon as I did this. So we are well outside. Let's get back to 240. And what I want to do is fly right to about here. So normally what I'd do is I'd fly up to Deer Park radial, right here. And then I'd intercept the ILS. That was a lot of the ILS training I did. Instrument training, I mean. So let's get rid of the map. Let's know that we have to fly 240 degrees, not 210. I'm doing commentating on this sim, so I'm not following my altitudes as closely as I should. I guess that means, Nicole, never bring a GoPro into an aircraft. You might not make it out alive. Alright, so I think that what I'm looking for... Oh, there it is, that island. Right in between those two islands is where I turn north. Well, turn to 330. So when I'm abreast of those two islands, I turn to 330. Cessna is such a beautiful aircraft to fly. You get such a great look at the world with the low wing. Yeah, it's like... this is the closest to real-life flying I've been in a very long time. Yeah, still flying at about 2100. And turning north to 330. When you get this baby totally 100% trimmed, she just wants to fly, and fly beautifully. Airfoil Labs, you have done an amazing job on this aircraft, and I hope that you bring us many more aircraft and scenery over the coming years that X-Plane 11 is going to be my sim of choice. Yeah, I definitely want the crosswind pedals at some point. They're so expensive though. I'm going to have to really put time into doing videos for this in between my Star Citizen videos. Should have done a couple this week, but because of things that are going on at CIG, Ben and I just couldn't hook up for Ben's Day. Alright, don't fly off course here. We've got something we've got to do. I think I'm going to wait for build quality on Satex products to increase now that Logitech has ownership of the company. Yeah, not so bad. I don't have my real life landmarks over here, so it's kind of tough to know when I got to turn to 060. Come on, keep it coming around. Alrighty, I think that should be... yeah, that should be awesome coming over. So right now we would be contacting New York Approach. November 47332 Alpha. Inbound for landing at Islip. 10 miles southwest of the aircraft flying, of the airport, flying at 2,000 feet. As soon as I get used to flying again, I'm going to go into the SoCal area. Well, actually, I think it's the whole West Coast now, and start flying on Pilot Edge. I think that should be fun. I've got FS Economy installed now. So now that I'm getting used to flying the aircraft again, I'd say if you draw a line out, it's going to be right about here. Let's see when we cross that. It'd be a lot easier for me to move my head around in real life. Yeah, I'm going to start making that turn right now to 060 degrees. That transition is kind of wild coming into the aircraft. And let's start descending to pattern altitude because they probably would have done that. So we're going to pull back and just let the aircraft settle at the speed you're flying at. If you trim for a speed, it will maintain that speed regardless of power. And you'll start a descent. Okay, we're coming around. See if I got this right. So we're just doing standard rate turns today. Beautiful aircraft. I am so happy about this. What I would love to see is an aircraft. I'd like to get one of those thumpers under my seat too to make it really fly, you know, feel like you're flying. But I'd like to see one with controls with full force feedback again on the pedals and on the stick. I would love to feel that flutter, and when you stall, when the aircraft just gives way. Alright, we're going to pull back on the throttle some more. Okay, it's a spring day. It's not too cool. We don't need carb heat for this. Okay, I think we might have this almost perfect. Might need to make a couple of changes. And we need to decelerate a little bit here. We need to get a pattern speed. 90 knots at Islip, I believe, in small aircraft. A lot of times they'll say expedite your approach though, because behind you, 40, 30 miles away, they probably have a 757 or a 737 that needs to land. Let's keep this up until we see the aircraft. Okay, how far out are we? Yeah, we're pretty far out. We've lost our heading, playing with altitude, and there's our 90 knots. There's our altitude. 1,000 feet. Let's go a little bit more. There is light wind today, but it's not much. I was trying to fly this the other day, and I always try to fly in real-world conditions. I think it's a good way to build your sim habits. That way, if you're a real-life pilot, it actually makes sense. I see the airport. I see runway 10 and 28. I'm not seeing runway 6. Oh, are we off that much? Maybe our compass is off. Where's that Farmingdale? Well, that's Islip. It says there's a... It says that there's one there, but it's not lining up anywhere. I mean, there's 06. I mean, we're heading 06 degrees and it's not there. Yeah, I'm saying that's the runway, and we're just off course. So we're gonna slow the aircraft down, do a 360. I definitely messed that one up. Sorry about that, folks. Okay, as we come around, beautiful scenery. And the only thing that's going on today is that there is haze in the area. I could turn up the visibility, but you know, in the summertime, Long Island, Georgia, humid areas, you're always going to find this haze in the air. You want to remove it, I need to pay the $69 for X-Enviro. It'll make things look just ever so slightly better. And I like where X-Enviro is going. It is going to be my choice for adding weather and other environmental effects into the game. Might not be perfect now, but I see them putting a lot of work into it. It's probably going to be perfect over time. Yeah, I'm feeling much better about this now. We can turn in. Don't let that airspeed down. I could do this turn. And then all we got to do is just keep our speed. Let's get our speed down. There's our speed coming down. Perfect. First notch of flaps. Okay, okay, it's settled. Okay. Second notch of flaps. Settling again. Okay, not a good approach. Actually, the worst approach I've ever made. But it's a simulator. Still learning the aircraft. I didn't have ILS set. I would have known when I had the aircraft on the right approach path. And we're going to go right back to where we started, which shouldn't be hard. The taxiway to get off the runway is pretty fast after touchdown. Keep that speed up, Nicole. Keep that speed up. So I've been having a lot of trouble with my voice lately, like I said in the last episode. And that's pretty much why I don't do a lot of videos right now, but there'll be more coming. More games, a lot more Star Citizen, a lot more. You don't want to drop that altitude too much. It's a very flat approach, by the way. And just let the aircraft settle onto the runway. The aircraft wants to land nicely. And that is going to sound a lot worse than it was. Clean up your aircraft, and they'll usually right around now say to quicken your leaving the runway. And you don't want to turn right there. That is not a taxiway. That is 10 and 28. And you would just go right here. Okay. And I'm going to just do a ground loop. Oh god, this sucks. Alright, good. We've got it. We've got it. We're just going to take it and put it away in the hangars where we came from. Let's get back on. We're all over the place today. I hate these pedals. I hate these pedals. I was so much better with just using the twist and the rudder toggle on the T16,000 throttle, the FCS unit. Okay. Ooh, there's another aircraft down there. Let's just go off here and set it down. So that was the first flight I took for real in the Airfoil Labs Cessna 172. I did take it up, but kind of stopped it right in the middle because I just wasn't getting the time I needed to actually play. Oh, what kind of aircraft is that? Is that a Mustang? No. Okay, let's just put it right here. And we would roll it back. Yeah, we would roll it back into spot. Okay. So, first thing that we're going to do is we're going to set the parking brake. We're going to pull back up. There we go. And shut down the aircraft. We didn't turn any of those off. And that was it. That was the first real flight I've taken in this aircraft. At this point, we would get outside the aircraft and just push it back into that area right there. But what a wonderful aircraft they made. And I wanted to be able to do this and go around it. The actual visuals on this thing are just beautiful. Now let's go up here and let's turn back on reflections and show you the beauty of this. So we're going to put reflection detail to maximum. World details up. Anti-aliasing is on. Yeah, let's just do that. And I mean, that aircraft is just awesome. So if you are playing a flight simulator, you've already learned. For those of you that watch me for Star Citizen and not for this, and have actually been able to stomach your whole way through this, in flight sims today, it's a lot like Star Citizen, where you have to buy aircraft. You can't just go with the ones that are modeled. They're modeling a world that you can fly in, and then leaving the aircraft for companies like A2A and Coronado and Airfoil Labs and all sorts of people to be able to, well, to actually give you that opportunity to purchase aircraft of many diverse characteristics, anything from single-engine piston to multi-engine piston to big giant jet airliners and fighters, and also giving you a variety of different types of simulated aircraft, from casual to intermediate to full-on. This is going to fly like the real thing. So before we go, let's just watch that last landing, and this what I'm going to talk about is the actual sounds make it sound a lot worse. This landing really wasn't that bad. Watch it. We held off the aircraft. Watch it. We held it off, 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 held it off. That was a squeaker. See, it sounded a lot worse than it was, but that was a perfect landing. Ah, I love this aircraft. All right, so last thing here, for those of you that stomached all your way through this, leave a comment below. Make sure in there is a hashtag that says hashtag Airfoil Labs C172 rocks. And if you do that on July 4th, I will gift you this aircraft for X-Plane. If you have X-Plane, make sure you enter again in your comment below. Make sure it says hashtag Airfoil Labs C172 rocks, and I will gift this aircraft to you on July 4th. I think this aircraft is amazing, and you're going to see me flying it a lot more until I find the next aircraft that I want to fly. And that's all I got for you today. So with that said, folks, you all be safe out there, and I'll talk to you soon.